Good afternoon. The date is October 22nd. It's we just put week 7 of this National Football League in the books last night. Let's get to it. You can find me, by the way, at Baldy NFL and all the social media platforms. You can wherever you get your podcasts, you can download this Odyssey podcast for free. Like it, subscribe to it wherever you get those. Let's get to it because last night was eye-opening. Eye-opening because of what Lamar Jackson and his offense is doing. It is remarkable. I said it last week that he might miss a throw. He missed 5 last night, but he's not going to miss a read. And he threw 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns and 5 misses, and 2 of them were drops. The guy literally is as close to perfection. And when he does scramble and he's looking for somebody, like he did yesterday on a free hitter coming right at him, Todd Bowles blitzed him repeatedly. And he got Chris Braswell, their second-round pick out of Alabama, coming right at Lamar. Exactly the way you draw it up. Oh, we'll get a free one on Lamar. And all he did was back up, roll to his right, point to Rashad Bateman, and then uncork another bomb that led to a touchdown against Zion McCollum. The guy is out of this world right now. Like he gets out of harm's way. He rescues bad plays. Last night they went away from the run until they had a comfortable lead on Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then they gave it to Derrick Henry. And he had an 87-yard touchdown run against Buffalo to start the game. He had an 81-yard run last night. He's averaging 6.5 yards a carry. He's on pace for over 2,000 yards. When you look at the Ravens, they legitimately have 2 MVP candidates. Lamar could easily, if he maintains his pace or anywhere close to it, and the Ravens have won 5 in a row, he could easily win his 3rd MVP. But maybe Derrick Henry can too. But maybe you have the Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP. Maybe they co-chair the MVP. I don't know. Right now, Lamar is unreal. He's got everything he needs. He's got a good offensive line. They had some holding calls last night. It doesn't matter. Honestly, like the good teams, the great offenses. I mean, I know, this is blasphemy to John Harbaugh, but I mean, they're 2nd and 20. It doesn't make any difference. There's a big chunk play coming. They just get themselves out of every hole, unless it was right at the end of the first half when they had 3 straight, penalties in a row, 2 offensive line penalties and 1 by a wide receiver. But they got 3 tight ends. They look like the front line of a basketball team. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Charlie Kolar. Like, they're all 6'6". They all can run. They all can block. I mean, they've got Justice Hill, who's a change of pace back. And for big chunks of that game last night, they played Justice Hill because he's a great receiver. And when he came out of the draft in 2019 out of Oklahoma State, he was the fastest back in the draft. He ran a 4.35 40. It looks like he still runs that. And Lamar might be faster than anybody in this whole league. Tyreek Hill, I don't care. Like, put him up against anybody. And then he's always under control. And his ball goes exactly where he wants it to go. And now he's layering passes, like throwing them over linebackers' heads like he did last night and dropping them in on the sideline. It's something else. And so if you get Marlon Humphrey getting you 2 takeaways last night and you give those extra at-bats to the Ravens, for the second time in 3 weeks, they put up 41 points. They're exceptional. Look, and for Tampa, like they lose Mike Evans to a hamstring pull, then they lose Chris Godwin for the season. Like these injuries nobody can sustain greatness or high level of production. When you lose 2 players like Evans and Godwin, I mean, they're probably the best tandem of receivers in the league. Now, you could go around this league. A lot of teams have tandems, but these guys are unreal. So that's a big loss. Let's go to the other game, Arizona. Arizona at home wins their 3rd game against the Los Angeles Chargers, coming off a win and a bye, and Jim Harbaugh. And they played a total team effort. A lot of people don't know who some of these guys are. Starling Thomas played great. Bo Melton, a 2nd-round pick, rookie out of Rutgers, played great. Buda Baker, Jalen Thompson played great. Starling Thomas gets the ball, out of the receiver's hands at the goal line. Jalen Reagor, and Thompson picks it up, touchback. A touchdown becomes a touchback, Arizona ball. But so the defense, they play hard. They're not particularly talented, but they play really hard. Dennis Gardeck is a guy that people should know about. He gets pressure. Kazir White plays a diamond middle linebacker spot. He makes a lot of tackles. Like they're just gritty. And then on offense, look, Kyler goes 44 yards on a scramble for a touchdown. He ran 50 yards on the second play of the game 2 weeks ago against San Francisco to score a touchdown. Look, they've beaten 3 West Coast teams. They beat the Rams, they beat the 49ers, and now they beat the Chargers. Any other West Coast teams they can play. But, the star, honestly, is James Conner. He's just a gritty, tough guy. Kyler gets a ball tipped at the line of scrimmage by Khalil Mack, and Tyre Tart intercepts it, and he's running with it, and James Conner doubles back, swipes at it, gets it out of his hands, and Michael Wilson recovers it, saves the interception and the run back. And then on the final drive of the game, they got 1:44 to go. They got to go get in field goal range. He carries the ball 3 straight plays in a row, gains 44 yards. They take a knee, and they kick the game-winning field goal. It's great team win. James Conner is just great. He's having a great season. He's averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He's up there amongst the lead leaders in rushing. The offensive line did their job. They beat a well-coached team that plays very close to the vest. They held them to 5 field goals. They didn't score 1 touchdown against them last night. Power to the Chargers, or to the Cardinals. I mean, look, they're 3-4, and in this league and in that division, where the first place team, the Seattle Seahawks, are 4-3, they're a game out of first place. All right, here we go. Let's play ball. Let's go to Washington, because I don't know this because I haven't talked to anybody in Washington, but I'm going to be there this weekend for Chicago, Washington. The first play of the game, Jayden Daniels runs a read option, goes down the moving sidewalk for 44 yards, and he gets tackled. And I think he hurt his rib on that play. He was kind of grabbing at it for the next 8 or 9 plays until Marcus Mariota took over. I don't know. I think that's the play he got hurt on. I'm not reading any press clippings right now. It's only Tuesday. Haven't talked to Dan Quinn. Haven't heard any press conferences. So I don't know if they've even said when he got hurt. But that's what it looked like to me. Looked like he was hurt in the first play. But the thing I want to talk about, so they get their opening, the second drive. They go, I think, they get stopped in the opening drive. Second drive. They go 8 straight runs in a row from 8 different formations, different personnel groupings, unbalanced, pistol, power pistol, spread, 2-back, spread, unbalanced right, unbalanced left. They run away from it one play. They'll run 2 at the next play. They ran 8 different formations, 8 different run plays down to the 8-yard line. And that's when Jayden tried to throw the ball a little bit, and he just had trouble throwing. They kicked the field goal. Marcus Mariota comes in. Honestly, I'm a Marcus Mariota fan. He's a great guy. I've done his football camp out in Hawaii. I love Marcus. Great human being. If he ran for the governor of Hawaii, he would win. Like, he's just that championed in the islands. But I'm only saying this because it's the best I've ever seen him play. Like, literally, outside of the speed of Jayden Daniels and the elusiveness of Jayden, you couldn't tell the difference. The throws he made to those receivers, I don't care who it was, Terry McLaurin, one after another to McLaurin. Play actions, Diami Brown, Zach Ertz, touchdown to Zach Ertz. It's the best I've seen him play. And it's actually, and after, some backup duty and some failed stops and whatnot, you think, okay, is Marcus going to retire? He could if he wants to. He's in a perfect system. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury and Marcus Mariota is a perfect marriage for all the things they asked the quarterback to do, which is very similar to the stuff he did with Kyler, very similar to some of the stuff he did, with Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, just different guys he's had. But it's a really good, clever offense. So, anyways, that's Washington. Can't wait. I hope Jayden can play. Honestly, the problem with getting any kind of rib injury, whether it's rib cartilage or bruised rib or whatever, is nothing you can do for it. There's no treatment. There's no exercise. You just have to let it heal. And you have to let it heal. I mean, I don't care if you're Aaron Judge and you pull your rib cartilage trying to hit a grand slam home run. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can't breathe. You can't laugh. You can't sleep. Like, it's hard. Life is hard. Now, I don't know how severe it is, so I don't know what his status is this week. It'll be a shame if you can't play, but honestly, you have to let that heal. You can't go out there with it 50%, and there's things you can take to numb the pain or whatever, but you can't go out there and make it worse. Like, it won't go away. So that's that. And then let's go to Green Bay, because they won a nail-biter against the Houston Texans. Jordan Love was all-world. Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Dobbs, Tucker Kraft, Josh Jacobs. I mean, they were humming. But what you really want to talk about is what Jeff Hafley is doing. They lead the league in takeaways right now with 17. But they play 3 safeties, okay? And they signed Xavier McKinney to be their star safety, and that's exactly what he's been. He leads the league in interceptions with 5. But you look at these 2 rookie safeties. Evan Williams starts, okay? Evan Williams was a 4th-round pick out of Oregon, number 33. He led the team in tackles in this game. And then they drafted Javon Bullard out of Georgia. And he's their 3rd safety that they play in the slot. I'm telling you, like, C.J. Stroud's a great player. The offense, look, they're playing without Nico Collins. They're not the same dynamic offense. But you hold the Houston Texans down like that to whatever it was, 22 points or 23, whatever it was. Like, that's a challenge. And they did that. I mean, they gave us some rushing yards to Joe Mixon, but they lead the league in takeaways. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to rob the middle of the field. They wanted to keep the score down. They're doing that, all that. The back end is playing really good. Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes. Like, they've got a secondary now that's not giving up big plays. And Green Bay, now that Minnesota's knocked off, that NFC North is up for grabs for sure. But that's a big win against Houston. Jordan Love gets the ball with a minute and a half to go and takes them right down the field. One good throw after another, whether it's to Dobbs, roll out to stop routes on the outside to Jaden Reed, whatever. They go right down the field, get in scoring position, kick game-winning field goal. So that's what you want your starting quarterback to do. And that's what Jordan did. And he's just getting better and better coming off that, pretty severe knee injury that he suffered at the end of that game against the Eagles in Brazil. Credit Matt LaFleur for everything. Coaching, the offense, putting the offense line together. They're really good up front. And then going out and getting Jeff Hafley. It was the right move. And they're responding to the way that he's calling his defenses. 4-man front, not heavy blitzes. They've had their injuries too. But Rashawn Gary showed up last week. I expect him to get better as the season goes on. Anyways, that's my look at really week 7. I'll be back here tomorrow to talk more about it, I'm sure. And Thursday as well, getting ready for week 8. Thursday night football, we got a big one. Thursday night, we have Minnesota and the Raiders. We'll see what happens. We'll probably preview Max Crosby. I'm going to look at Max in his game last week, probably coming up this afternoon. So I'll make sure I know what the defense is looking like. I haven't seen them yet from this week. I still got to study that game later today. But anyways, thanks for joining me on the Best Football Show. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll probably start previewing, week 8, which is Thursday night with Minnesota playing the Rams. The Rams on a short week. There's a lot to talk about in that game, period. Minnesota coming off the first loss. So we'll see. We'll get ready to start talking about it sometime tomorrow. Thank you.